Something showed up early. Shit's getting real. What's that for?
Just so I don't scratch metal.
Oh, okay.
Because the instructions say lay it down on the ground, and this is concrete, so you'll scratch it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay, cool. I put it in my pocket. That worked. All right, so we need 5, 10, and 30 seconds. Oh. People complaining about this thing? They're assholes. This is awesome. Look at how they laid this out. Individually numbered steps. Come on, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, that's amazing. What up, Snuggle Beast?
Yeah, Mama. Do you feel better?
All right.
Like some water?
I will take one thing away from them. Why are you using slotted screws? But other than that,
Why? I don't know.
this type is just a pain in the ass.
Is it a road though?
No, it doesn't erode. It's just more like the screwdriver slips off.
Mm. You have to stay here at us. When the little girl comes closer, you can't go see her. She's like, okay. I didn't really plan on it.
That seems like effort.
No. Yeah. Hi. Good morning. Hi, Mama. She just looked at me like, Mom. Hi. Got it. Stay. Adelaide. Look at her. She's just pivoting. She's like, her butt is stuck and she just moves her front. It's like a compass.
You know what?
It was really cute.
She's like, I want pets.
Oh yeah, she was like a little kid too. So she was like, hello. I take pets from you.
Anytime you put something together, you put the screws in finger tight, and then you come back and
Like a screwdriver.
yep. All right, step 2. Oh,
You just do something.
I just kind of did a little bit too.
You want your coffee?
Um.
Sunglasses.
Okay. All right, so we need some of the foam blocks. So we're in this. Okay. All right, so when you're handling this, it actually probably wouldn't be a bad idea for us to use gloves.
Yeah, compost bin.
Well, no, I'm talking like right now. With it clean.
Do you want sunglasses or your coffee?
No.
No, both?
Well, I can take my coffee here.
Alright, I'll go grab coffee. You want me to just put my gloves on from outside? My gardening, my thicker gardening gloves?
No, these are mechanics gloves.
Okay. Alright, let me go, get my coffee. Let me grab some glasses.
You can go with her, Mama?
I'll be right back.
Okay. Now what we need to do is a cardboard spacer. Which side? I always find these instructions to be sexist.
Why?
I got a woman doing it. So like, It's like that thing to show ease. It's like, no.
Well, I think it'd be handy because I'm like, wait, I'm not that tall. So if you can do it, I probably can too.
Yep.
Where did Puppy go? There she is.
Alright.
It's like this, they're trying to change power.
But, you're gonna have some involvement.
Okay.
So, what we're gonna do now. Okay.
Yeah.
So, this is sheet metal. Surfaces like this is what will cut.
Okay.
So, like all this, this, and this, what people are complaining about are those pieces.
Okay.
So, how you're holding it,
Yeah.
that's how you handle sheet metal. You hold it like this. You don't grab it like this.
Right.
Because even through the glove, you do
It'll
this.
cut. I don't want to.
Well, you can feel how sharp it is even through the glove. So just hold it like that. You're good. And just watch all the corners. All right. So now what we're gonna do, we do this. Why did I want it over the? Okay.
Do you just slot it in?
See that little slot? You
Yeah.
want to get it in that slot.
Okay.
So you handle the back slot. The back slot. That's the important slot.
That's it.
All the way down.
I don't know how to do that, baby.
Just push on it until it goes all the way
I
down.
know, but I don't want to push on sheet metal.
You're okay.
You just told me that's how I cut myself.
Well, but I also told you what to look for.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you get to hold it in place.
Okay, I can do that.
All right. So
Is
we're.
there another panel?
Yep.
Oh, it's the doors, right?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So now we've hit step 3. Yeah, see, I kind of bitched at them a little bit. They switched from slotted screws to this screwdriver to that screwdriver.
This is not a good way to transfer me.
The what?
You gotta slot. Otherwise, I pay for that. It's okay. I just need to modify. It's my whole life. I just have to modify.
All right. Okay, so it looks like the lip goes to the inside.
Okay.
Ish. Yeah.
The walkway?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I should know like the door. I don't want that far away.
All right. Okay. Now.
Oh, there's vents on this. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend using gloves for the handling part. I'm not too worried about this part because I'm not doing anything where I'm going to be grabbing it hard.
Well, you're also relatively savvy at this stuff too.
Yeah, you should use.
Like you're not me. Like
If
I'm
you're,
way more
if you're
than-
assembling this, you should use thick gloves.
Yeah.
Use thick gloves like these. These are crappy automotive gloves from Harbor Freight. They're like $3 each, $4 each. Use something like that. They got strong protection on your fingers. All right. You're welcome. So the best idea for this is as you're going through, do the extremities. So
What does that mean?
go from one side to the other side when you're setting up the bolts. This isn't anything that you do.
Okay.
Anything where you have to align something straight, don't just go down one side.
Go back and forth.
Go back and forth, and then that helps you align everything. And if you put And if you put the screws in loose, have you ever gotten something together and then, oh wow, I can't get the last screw in? That's because everything's tight. So like this, I can move these around still.
Okay. Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, that's just a general assembling anything.
Yeah. We're just gonna learn that.
Putting shit together your whole life. I mean, it's kind of, I don't think anybody really tells you that, but you kind of learn it over time that like, a lot of times that like, especially in cars where it like if you take cars like the Camaro where they have like really, really tight tolerances mean, tolerance would be like, so like this, that's a really loose tolerance. You see how much that wiggles? So it's pretty easy to get in there. So if I'm within like a half a millimeter,
You're good.
I'm good. But if you're talking about something that has like 100,000 of clearance,
Yeah.
it's super tight.
Okay.
So like sometimes even to the point where you have to, like sometimes to install bearings, I put them in the freezer because the metal will contract just a little bit, and then you get the rednecks and just sit there and you're like, boom, with a hammer and fuck everything up.
Ada,
Stood up.
what are you doing?
We don't bark at the Amazon guy.
No, we like him. He's nice.
All right, so I've got the one side here. I've got it pulled down.
Okay.
So now just, so it'll kind of sit in place now.
Okay, cool.
Same on the opposite side. Yeah, so like right now I can feel the sharpness against my hand.
Do you want your gloves?
No, I'm good. I was also kind of doing that.
On purpose?
How I was holding it. But I also know to like quit pushing harder.
Yeah. It's like all she wants is just like kind of be in it, you know? That's all she wants. I just want to participate. To the degree I participate, I want that freedom. But I want to be able.
I know people like her. She just wants the invite.
She just wants the invite. No, look, she's not doing anything. She's just sitting there, just minding her own business. As cute as can be.
I want to be invited, but I don't want to go.
Yeah. Where I want to go, but I want to sit in the corner and just chill out. That's basically what she's doing now.
So what I do is I get these screws on here with just a few threads, so that like they're
What's
on.
a thread?
So a thread. Okay. Over here. So what we're doing. All right. So what we're doing is we're sandwiching those two pieces of metal. Come over here. Here. You're part of this lesson too. We're sandwiching those two pieces of sheet metal between this face, this washer, and this. So the threads are these right here.
The little rivet, the little like divots.
On the screw. This is this little grooves here. These are called threads. So the little grooves here are called threads.
Okay.
So when I say we want to get a couple threads on, is you get this on and you get it to turn a little bit. So like in this case, I'm just on just a little bit, enough that it's not going to come off.
Okay.
Okay?
That makes sense.
And then but it's not tight either.
Right.
And so since it's not tight, I can still move things back and forth.
But it's also safer for your hands right now too.
Yeah, so it's just what you do in general. Whenever you're assembling something, you put it, you get all the screws in it, then go back, and then you tighten, tight.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like if you're ever doing a car, you do a star pattern. You go bump, bump, and go all the way around.
Okay.
And so everything's crisscross going across the wheel.
Gotcha.
If you're shorter than me, you might want to try doing this going through the door. Just be careful of the sharp edges.
Yeah.
No, this thing seems pretty well built. I don't have complaints.
Okay. We'll just see how it composts.
Metal should hold heat. So, all right. Okay, so now we can start tightening it up.
Okay.
All right, now I think to make things easier, they switched bolt size. So I need a different wrench.
Okay.
Do it. Oh no, they still use the 3/8. Nice. So we're gonna cheat.
Wash your hand.
If you're not comfortable with using one of these things, I'm not gonna go in here and go and just run it until it's all the way in. I'm gonna kind of do things a little slow. I get it in a good spot. Come down here, and so what I'm doing is I've got a wrench on the other side, and I'm using the wrench to keep the nut from moving. So now all I'm doing is just take them to the point where they're kind of snug, and I'm making sure that everything looks the way I want it to look, and I'm going in a pattern going from one side to the other. These things have slots, so I'm just kind of lining it up in the middle. I don't think it really matters, it's just me because I'm OCD. So all right, now we can kind of tighten them up. Now that clicking noise, this is an impact driver. So it's designed to
What is an impact driver?
So an impact driver.
No, what are you talking about? What is an impact? The thing in your hand?
Yeah, so this thing's an impact driver. So when it gets resistance, it has a little hammer thing in there that kind of gives it an extra.
Okay.
So in my case, I'm not really using that feature much, and I'm kind of letting it off when it gets there.
Okay.
I think most drills will have some type of feature like that, so you can have they'll have like a clutch. So if I was using the drill, what you'll see all the time is, so here's a drill, and a drill can put in screws. So here's a drill, and a lot of times you'll see you have this setting right here,
Lift up.
which means drill. Well, this basically locks this, and so it'll put all the torque it can into the screw. So it could be too much. You could break the screw, something like that. If you move this, so now it has numbers. So I can put it like on 8. Now when I run this, it's not moving. It's not moving, and that's a little thing that cuts off at a certain amount of torque. So whenever you're using screws with one of these, don't use it in this setting, because that turns that feature off.
Oh.
And if you're using a small screw, you could snap that screw,
I see.
and that's how you break a screw.
Okay.
Or you strip it, or do whatever.
So how do you learn how to do that?
Just over time.
Okay. So you
I mean, like,
anticipate breaking some screws.
Most people are up in here like, and then they're like, why is there no screw head left?
Okay. So anticipate breaking some screws.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if it starts slipping, pull off.
Okay.
But this is also like a good project. Like if you, honestly, if you don't feel comfortable doing this stuff, this is a good problem to bring in. You know, like I don't know. You probably have somebody in your family that assembles stuff. That aunt that builds motors for the NASCAR team. Whatever, bring them in.
Yeah, people have that.
It's a good bonding experience. This thing only take us probably 45 minutes to build.
You could also probably task wrap it. You like really don't know. / don't have tools.
Luckily, this, if you bought like a base toolkit, just like one of those toolkits you should have around your house, you wouldn't have like obviously you wouldn't have a screwdriver,
Right.
but you'd have enough. So I mean, so far
It's fine.
to assemble this, like I'm just too lazy to to do this. So far, this is all the tools that we've really needed to put this together so far. 3/8" wrench, a Phillips screwdriver, and a flathead screwdriver. So that's the only thing we've needed to get this far. All right, so we look like we're in a pretty good spot. All right. So now we move to the next spot. Place the second drum. All right. All right, we're ready to put that other one on. All right. So we're putting this together, and it looks like there's these two little holes right here. Little holes. They line up with this thing.
Okay. Wash your hand. Give me your gloves.
Not just yet. I'm going to put gloves back on. Now, I know I took off my gloves for a little bit because I'm a little weird. I don't necessarily like... God, this thing's like down low. I don't necessarily like...
Because I need to get you in shot here.
I gotcha. I mean, I'm weird. I don't like things on my hands. Yeah, but I don't like dirty hands. So, I don't know. I'm just weird. So, be careful when you're doing things with this. I know how to handle sheet metal, so I've been pretty careful. But wear these gloves when you're doing this stuff. All right. So let's look here.
Take all the caution steps if you're new.
Yep.
Because you just don't know yet. Safe than sorry.
Yeah.
And you can't go to the emergency room right now.
All right. So it looks like we're in position.
Cool.
All right. So, okay. So it looks like we should have some really long screws. Ah, okay. This makes sense why they wanted this raised up just a little bit. There should be some really long. All right, let's switch. What? This is bad policy. That's what's put. All right. So.
I don't want you to get Rona.
You don't want me to get Rona?
I don't want that
Okay,
in
please.
your mouth to go. You know? Do you have a bunch of cups in your office?
Probably one or two.
Okay. I was like, I can't find half of them.
You come into my office more than I leave my office. That's kind of part of the problem. I don't end up bringing them. All right, see here. Step 11. Step 4 and 5.
These are really productive steps 1 through 3.
Yeah. Step 4 and 5. Well, guys, you're telling me to do something here. Okay.
Your first official complaint.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times these things are just shit to look at. I mean, it's also possible that I missed something on the other ones.
Hi, sweet girl.
No, you got
Look
that
at those
part.
ears just in the breeze.
Well, here's some more pieces. There we go.
It was buried.
Little buried 1 and 2. They're not on the list of parts that you need. So it doesn't tell you. So it shows a picture of them right here.
They were there.
And it doesn't.
Did they go through these things?
Yep.
Okay.
So this goes all the way through. So what we want to do, put these here, and then put that there. So what you want to do is take a couple, put one of these. This is called an acorn nut. You put a few turns on to make sure that it Wow, that actually fell right into the hole. You want to do one? Here you go. Just put it on just a little bit. The idea is just so it doesn't come off. Yeah. And so the idea there's a hole on the other side, and somehow I magically dropped that one all the way through. But what you'll do is we'll just come in here like this, and we
Watch your head, please. And your neck.
Drop it
Please
in.
don't get cut. Good job.
All right. So now we take the nuts and go ahead and screw it on the other side. So I mean, this is the part I personally like to be ungloved, because I don't feel like I have the right level of feeling.
I have this styrofoam underneath this.
Yep, so move the styrofoam just a little bit. And so I noticed on this one, I screwed the top in a little bit too much, so I didn't have that much of threads coming out the other side. So make sure you want to have like a decent amount of threads. On the other side. So remember, it's a screw, you need to have a few threads on each side for it to stay tight.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that like you didn't put it all on one side.
Yeah, I got it.
Well, I'm also talking to your YouTube.
Oh, I was like, I have small hands. It takes me a little longer.
You should have an advantage.
Well, no, it takes me more turns because I don't have the, you know. It's like it takes me a little, I have to walk fast. Takes me more steps.
With your little legs.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
Hashtag.
Okay.
Bad problems.
Okay, so they want an adjustable wrench
Do you-
or a 7/16 wrench.
Which one do you have?
I have them both. Sweetheart, I have entirely too many tools. Well, not really too many tools.
You're well equipped.
I'm pretty well equipped.
Okay.
So what we'll do is we'll use an adjustable wrench.
Okay.
So an adjustable wrench, anytime you're going to, shit. All right now, anytime, this is an adjustable wrench
Why?
because you can adjust it like that. So,
Okay. So those are both are adjustable wrenches.
so anytime you're tightening something, you don't use pliers. Pliers are not used to tighten because you can't hold on to a bolt. You're sitting here like this, and you're not at the right angle, and you just end up tearing
You lift
everything
up.
up.
Okay.
It slips off. So this, what we do,
You.
you get it to the right adjustment.
So then it holds on to it, and then you can do the other thing.
Yep,
I see.
yep. And of course, this is all in SAE or American measurements, which are fucking annoying to work with.
What's SAE?
7/16, 5/8, whatever. It's a lot harder than 7mm, 8mm, 9mm, 10mm.
Okay.
So we could have used.
Can I help you? This is like excellent feedback for me right now.
Kind of.
This is where like your driving stick really pays off.
My what?
You driving stick really pays off. You can do two completely different things.
I mean, I'm doing the same thing. No, to be honest, when you work on cars, there's way stupider things on this. The first time I pulled the gas tank out of the Camaro, I mean not out of the Camaro, but out of the Corvette,
Which one?
the red one, I had to put a new fuel pump in it because I put the supercharger in it. First off, I broke the parts because it just got finally pissed enough and I yanked on it enough that it just snapped. But like, some of the things in modern cars are so, I can't say stupidly designed, but they're not designed to be serviceable. So that car, the fuel lines go up and over the transmission and go across, and it has 2 fuel tanks and auxiliary pumps that move gas between the 2 of them. So you get into spots where, like, to get that unhooked, I'd like have my face against the tank, my thing up around here, another hand around here to get it to pop. And then I still fucked it up. Even after I fixed it, I fucked it up. And I paid some dude $900. He's like, hey, for $900, I'll drop it and fix it. Done. But he's a douche. Nah, that guy's awesome. I don't know. If you say words like Lambo, I think you're a douche. I hope your followers don't say that.
Don't say Lambo.
Oh, come on. You spent $250,000 on a fucking car. You can't say the whole name.
Yeah, for real. I guess their logic is I spent $250,000 on whatever I want.
And you're still a douchebag. Yep. So if you're looking to have your car tuned, don't take it to Dallas Performance. There's better people.
There you go.
Or John Hennessy.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah. Now now I think it's time for these things. Yep, aerator caps.
Hey.
All right, where do these go? On the outside of the door. Okay, they go right here, I think.
Are there 4 of them? There's 4 of them?
There's 2. Let's look at the outside. Okay, so yeah, that's what it. Oh, on the door. Door's over there.
Oh. It's like,
It's.
okay, I got you.
They slipped a little bit, and they didn't give us photos of the overall. So all right.
It took a listen to it, yeah.
So now. All right. Okay. So this should be the outside because most likely if they put a caution label on it, they'll put it someplace you could read it.
Yeah.
Usually, anytime somebody takes time to put a sticker on something, they want you to read it. Even if. This would probably be where the tea could come from.
The tea will drain from there, and it'll drain from anywhere that has a hole once the rain comes.
All right, so now it is time for us to put on the hardware for the door opening.
Okay.
So we are at step 6.
Pretty good stuff.
What?
Pretty done stuff.
This thing is pretty decent. Pretty decent instructions.
Okay, what are we doing?
So we're going to put door latches on. The only thing it doesn't do a great job about doing is kind of stepping back so you can see what you are doing. But right now, what we're getting ready to do is put the door hatch things on.
You want me to hold that?
Okay, so there should be, we're just going to look at this. There's going to be two latches on each side and 2 clips. Alright. And on this step they didn't do a good job of showing you which order to do these nuts. So what you want to do is, so you see this, the drawback to sheet metal is that sheet metal can tear. And so whenever you're doing something that mates against sheet metal, you want more area. So it's important that we do, when we do this, these sets of screws, and then sheet metal, and then we'll have another washer against the sheet metal so that it has more surface area to bind onto. See what I'm saying? So like anything that would happen or any shock will get spread over a larger area, so less likely. Yep. That's what we do. And then this little thing is called a lock washer or a split washer. Yeah. I don't know if you can see this. So, but this is called a split washer, and this is basically designed so that when we put it in the screws and put it between all that, it crushes and kind of pushes back on the screw a little bit and keeps it from backing out.
Oh, okay.
So that screws come loose. Yeah.
And then it helps mitigate that.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. So again, doing this, I'm doing screw, split washer, and then on the opposite side, actually, we have the other side. We have this is a flat washer. That is just a regular nut, and then we have our split washer, and then we have the nut. So the way it would look is we're going to take these two and go on the outside, and then we're going to take these two and go on the inside. So I'm in here, this guy in place, and then I just hold it with my thumb so I give myself a little more space. Now I only just want to get this. Yeah, I just want to get it so it's on a couple threads, just like we were doing before. I always like to get everything in. You want me to do this one? Yep, I always like to get everything in test fit so that I notice, because every once in a while I make stupid mistakes. Like I just put that on backwards. So you know what? Everybody makes mistakes putting shit together. The key is you're just going to take it back apart, look at the instructions, say, wow, that didn't make any sense, and then go back and do it again. So this part, I was just being dumb. Put it on backwards. So all we're doing is flipping it.
Can we do this one?
Also, Jeremy's a bit of advice. If you have a straight male friend that's excited to come over and work on this project with you, he's not a platonic male friend. Throwing that out there.
Are you 100% certain on that?
Yes.
You like blew my mom's mind. She still talks about that.
What, there's no platonic male friends?
Yeah.
Like, no, there's no such thing. I guarantee you.
No platonic heterosexual.
Wheel?
What?
Looking as they don't have enough of these nuts for the other side, I think I just used the wrong nut on the wrong side. Going back to that, yeah, there's no such thing. Thank you. How are we going to talk about dudes are sexually driven in every other case except for that?
would have been, well, if you enjoy it and you're limited in your ability to do it at your house, or you get like just so many projects, right? If it gives you another opportunity.
I mean, there's always a chance, like, you know, something on one end would be like that. There's always the chance.
That's how I've always kind of logically.
But I mean, there's always the chance of becoming a millionaire by winning the lottery. I would say that the percentages are not in line with what you're thinking.
Yeah, and I mean, whatever. But also, that's kind of where I think women get so angry about being friend zoned, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That level of anger that they have towards them, like, okay, but like, how the fuck are we supposed to know that?
Dude.
No, seriously.
Ladies, that guy that's been hanging around for years, give him a shot. That's what he's looking for. I guarantee it. All right.
What do you need?
All right. No, I was just looking.
Yeah, tighten this more so it's not asymmetrical.
Not yet. Not just yet. I mean,
Your OCD will do that.
we'll definitely fix that, and we'll align that right when we start putting on the door.
Okay.
More now. I just want to working on getting all the hardware figured out right, and all right.
Well, what's up, baby angel? Are you gonna come say hi?
What's up, Snuggle Beast? Come here.
You gonna come say hi to us?
Come here.
Hi, Mama. We did.
What's up?
Hi, sweet girl. Is you getting toasty? No, you feel okay.
It's not too bad out here.
No, you wanna come sit?
This is one of my favorite times in Texas.
Hi. Hi.
All right. Now y'all get to see what you actually use pliers for. You want to grab the other end of this, baby?
Yeah.
All right. So, this is what you'd actually use pliers for. So we've got this little pin. Go towards the Camaro. And that little pin is going to go into this right here, kind of like this. And then what we do, so we slide this in like this. Now we take the pliers, we bend it like this so that it won't come back out. So now this is stuck on, this won't come out. This is basically what you use pliers for. Use pliers for doing stuff like this, where you need leverage and pulling stuff out. So you don't use it to tighten anything. Because you're just gonna slip, and you're gonna stab things, and then you're gonna be pissed off at why did I do X, Y, and Z. All right. So we got this piece done. So now, we got to put these things on the inside of the drum, so we can take off our front door. Here. Yeah, I'll get this right.
Let me get in there. That's aggressive.
That was aggressive.
Do you want me to get in there?
What's that?
Can we get in there?
Well, we gotta tilt it on its side.
Oh, okay.
So we gotta do that part first.
Okay. So take everything off.
Yep. So we're gonna move all our tools and stuff to the side. I'd say we put gloves on for this.
Sure. Okay.
All right. So what we're gonna do, we'll kind of tilt it that way.
Okay.
I'm gonna get these blocks,
Okay.
get them out from underneath there. Get this here. Clean out our area. And now, boom.
So what do we want to do?
So I would say that the orientation we want is like this.
Okay.
Okay? So that way, if the door is facing forward, the handle can be facing that way in the backyard.
Okay.
And then we also want this to be on the top.
Okay.
So this is our orientation. because they're both the same. So now we get these guys, and this goes on through the hole on the inside.
Easy.
Yep. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get one of the frame legs, and let's see here. Here's a frame leg. And then here's another frame leg.
Okay.
All right. So what it says. What?
You want to do the frame legs in back here?
Nah, let's do it all here because we can just. This thing won't be that heavy. You and I can just pick it up and carry it.
Okay, holes.
All right, you found the holes?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, go here. So I think what we'll do, let's put this down like this. And so then what I'll do is come here like this. You want it all the way down.
Like that?
So you see where your thing is that you just put in? You want to get the hole of this aligned to that.
Honey, that's snug. Hang on. This,
Oh.
I gotta, okay.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Hold this.
that's a bit of stretch.
Hold it. Here we go. Okay, so I'm just backing that out just a little bit to get it lined up. Okay, so now insert one of the frame legs into the drive hole. So take this. All right, I kind of screwed up that I should have come over here and get me some hardware. So
What do you need?
the step 10 hardware. There should be a lock washer.
We just have that step. In step 10, it's just 2 sets of that.
Two-way lockout nut. These aren't lockout nuts.
I'm not sorry. It's in step 10.
That's not a lockout nut. All right.
No, no good.
Oh no, it's in there. But what we'll end up doing is using some Loctite.
Okay.
So Loctite is we'll use some blue Loctite, which is something that you can take apart. Red Loctite sometimes needs a torch. You probably don't want to use that in your class.
That's fine. That makes sense.
In the other leg. Right. Hold these two. Man, sweetie, you are like domestic as hell now.
Why? Do they want a composter?
Nah, I mean, just you went from being like all this urban living to having a Costco card and now a composter.
Yeah, I lived through a pandemic with like really high risk. Like, this is the shit that changes me. I said the other day on, I think my stories, I don't remember, that don't be surprised when I get married to if I'm a full-blown homesteader. The fact that I'm getting chickens is the biggest one that kind of shocks me. The gardening and the composting isn't that hard for me to wrap my head around. It's the chickens. Because chickens bring so much shit that I don't want to deal with, like pests and rodents and crap, like literal crap and dust mites and all that kind of stuff. To wrap my head around that is tough, but in terms of survival, it makes a lot of sense.
Say what?
Little trees in the summer.
Actually, I kind of wish they had you put the door on last, because I think with the way, they just had you assemble this upside down. So it'll flip over, and our door will be upside down.
Oh.
Probably makes sense. It would probably would have made sense to do the door the last step. I guess unless they want the door, we'll play with it and see what ends up being more natural.
Okay.
And maybe I'll 3D print some clasps or something that go over the door to keep it from flipping off on you.
Scare the shit out of it.
All right. Where is your other? All right, so that piece makes sense. I'm just looking at where I don't see mounting holes for these. It's like this. That makes sense. But these two are supposed to meet. Where is this other? Where's the other bolt? Okay, this is all the pieces that we have. And then let's look on the. Okay, and I don't see.
A hole?
Well, there. Oh wait, there's holes in the middle of those. Okay, so that must be. Maybe it comes up a little bit. Okay. Now, whenever I'm putting something like this together, I tend to try to put stuff like right now we have like a little bit of extra space on this screw. I put that on the inside because if it's on the outside, you could catch your leg on it, and this will cut your leg.
Oh, okay.
Or cut whatever.
Right.
Always just put things on. Like I'll put it in until like that's finger tight. So I mean it'll still move around, so I can align it in my final position. Okay. Okay. So if you want, you can come over here and you can hold the other side of this. Just kind of hold it in place. So now you see.
Okay.
Ah, shit. What we're gonna do. Okay, so here we go. Tighten it. See, let everything's finger tight. We can get in here pretty easily. So I'm going to check one more thing, just double check, make sure I didn't do something wrong. This seems.
Did you do that on purpose?
What?
The washer and the nut thing?
Hmm?
You did?
Okay. So the other thing we got to be careful when we tighten this down. This is hollow tube, so in and of itself, it's not super strong.
Sure.
So if you get in there and you tighten it super tight,
Yeah,
you're just going to crush it.
It's like hollow Easter bunny.
It's like what?
Like the chocolate bunny from Easter.
Yes.
You crush it, you destroy it.
Yes.
That's how I think about it.
All right. So now we can start tightening that stuff up. So this. This is 7/16.
What's that tool that you're using?
This is called a closed-end wrench,
Okay.
and it's on one side is 3/8 and the other side is 7/16. So a 7/16 is just a hair bigger than 3/8.
Okay.
But that's also why old guys will be like, back in the day, blah 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 blah. I personally hate SAE tools. I don't really want to have to sit there and figure out, okay, 3/8, let me double that, that is 6/16, 7/16.
Oh, okay.
It's so much easier in metric to just go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. Yeah. I got you.
You're fucking up, America. But I remember there was a thing on like change.org or whatever to the Obama administration about moving us to metric. And they basically said anybody who needs any type of accurate measurement does it anyways.
Yeah.
So, all right, so I'm just right now just taking this to the point that it is, it's tight. So it's not going to back out, but I'm not trying to crush this tube. This wouldn't be a bad spot to use that impact wrench that Sean got me for my birthday, but it would take a minute to set it up. So now the last thing we got to do is tighten these two things, and then we flip it upright. So we might swap these to the other side. We just have to look and see how this is, what it looks like standing up.
Okay.
So, here's what we'll do. We'll use the adjustable wrenches. You have that other adjustable wrench, please? So now we'll just... So this is giving me some resistance, but I'm also looking. My my bolt on this other side hasn't touched the metal yet. It's starting to. It's getting close.
Okay.
But it's giving me a lot of resistance. So don't.
Good or bad?
I know, no, it's not bad. I mean, just be aware. So like it's like 5 times harder than all the other ones.
Okay.
So, all right. We'll do the same thing again. So let's get our gloves on.
Okay.
We probably don't need gloves for this, but we're going to do it just to be safe. You probably shouldn't assemble things in Valentino flip-flops, but to each his own. Get your bougie ass over there. So what we're going to do, this is a color guard. You're going to do this counterclockwise, okay? We'll pick this up, and we're going to go like this.
Okay.
Right? Okay, so I'm going to pick it up down here.
From where?
Well, basically, we're going to, this
From the
is
drum?
Yeah, I want pretty close to down here. So I'm picking like this. I got my hand right here
Okay.
and right here, and I'm gonna
Okay.
pick and twist. Ready?
Yeah.
Yep, we're good. There we go. So. Oh, so that actually came out the way I wanted it.
All right. Cool.
So I wanted the top, I wanted to lift with this. So, I don't know, we just have to look at, okay, put things in. You probably just, there you go.
Yeah, you're right. The tea's really gonna. When you turn it, it'll drain out of it.
Yep. All right, you ready?
To move it?
Yep.
What's your step if you're going to
All right. Okay, you ready now?
Yeah.
There you go. You can load it up.
Let me go get the shit from the compost bill.
There you go.
Thanks, baby.
So you get some really big chunks. Well, I think you just got them. I was gonna say if you want to put those aside, we can throw them away.
No, you don't throw them away. You just put them in the garden beds.
In the what?
In the bottom of the garden beds. take up space and to help with the aeration. And then the other thing you can put in here is untreated paper, so like the inside, like the toilet paper rolls, you can put that in here. So that's why I've got a little group of them in the bathroom.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, they're gonna go in here. But if it's got, like, if it's been treated by anything, you can't do it because it'll go into your plants. Then obviously your soil, which goes into your plants.
Well, plus it'll.
How big is this?
66 gallons.
Oh wow, it's twice the size of the one I was looking at. Shit. Okay.
Now go ahead and rotate it. How many more times do you rotate it?
That's it.
Alright, let's see what this did as far as compaction.
I can feel it on some.
Yeah, there's some space in there.
Yeah, I can feel it. So way to white trash this thing out real quick.
Alright, so do we.
Huh?
Here you go.
Cool. If you guys can see that white igloo thing there, A, we don't give a shit about that igloo thing. 2, or B,
I still don't think that's enough, but
for underneath it, it's fine for right now though. It hasn't produced anything yet.
what I'll do.
Like we'll mod it. Like I want something to go I would eventually like something to go the whole way down. Because in case it works out of anything, I don't want it to attract something that Adelaide isn't. Or the chicken, you know what I'm saying? Or that eventually leads to.
Chickens are uphill, so that wouldn't affect them. And they're
I'm saying attracts shit.
So what we'll do, I've got that 4x4 that I'm going to use for the base. I'll route something this thick in it, and then make 2 blocks, put it up 4 inches.
This?
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason I did this, the reason I wanted that white container, it doesn't have to be this specific white container, I just needed something to catch the compost tea. I've talked about this in other videos, mainly because you're looking at exactly, Addis, come here, you got something on your back, baby. Dead, like, can you gotta get that off? Mainly because exactly who was just at that, Adelaide. I don't want Adelaide getting into anything, and especially with the compost tea, I don't want it to make her sick. It's 66 gallons, and we've pretty much filled it up. So we only need to put like the rest of the food compost in it, and then maybe the toilet paper rolls. And then you gotta let it cook. I already have the thermometer. I'll have that in my vlog. So yeah, so this isn't necessarily like the permanent solution, but it's a perfectly fine for right now, day 1 solution. And considering that thing literally just started, I don't anticipate any compost tea coming out of it. Although the weather is supposed to start getting kind of yucky this week, so it was important to me to have something underneath it immediately. So it's kind of the whole point behind that right there. The other reason why you want to have compost tea is if you're starting out, especially with like your seeds, your seedlings, anything kind of new, it is super beneficial to the overall like longevity and health of those plants to have that compost tea in them. It really gives them sort of like a vitamin shot. It's a terrible analogy, but it works for right now. It gives them like a boost to help them live better, essentially, because when they're young, when they're babies, they have a really high chance of dying, and you know, you just want to kind of give them every benefit you can, you know what I mean? And yeah, so it's a super simple solution, especially if you're already composting. You might as well save the shit that comes out when it rains. and it's a really good use of it. So since considering there's no seedlings for sale anywhere, I'm starting pretty much everything from seeds, so I have a very real need for that tea. Yeah, and okay. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see y'all later. Bye.